भगवते ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदामह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सागररघुनाथान्वितां तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। Hare Krishna. So we'll continue with the second chapter where we were getting into the karma portion or the karma yoga portion, where Krishna was specifically mentioning about the last section we saw about as a Kshatriya he has to perform duty, he has to do duty for the sake of doing his duty, everything. And then we went into this important sloka of Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So we have to have a one-pointed attention, one-pointed focused one, and then we'll be able to get, okay, that portion also we'll get. So how we get it? By three aspects. One is faith, then the knowledge, and then the spiritual mastery. We saw the three-dimensional view, and with this three-dimensional view, you will be able to get more focused attention towards bhakti. That is what we saw. I think sloka number 47 is more or less straightforward and understanding. So in 47, before 47, Krishna is talking about understanding the purpose of Vedas, understanding what is the importance of understanding the different types of karma, and then from 47 onwards, Krishna is talking about something called as the Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay, 47 is a typical example of a Nishkama Karma Yoga. What is that Nishkama Karma Yoga? You have the right to perform, first thing. Second thing is Ma Phaleshu Gadachana, which means you are not entitled to the result of it. Okay, then Ma Karma Phala Heturbur. 4 points are there. Okay, third point is also very important. Ma Karma Phala Heturbur, which means what? Don't assume that everything is happening because of you, of your own thing only. Because of you only it is happening. No, it is not like that. Okay, there are so many other external factors that influence a particular person action. Okay, in the later sections in 18th chapter, Krishna will talk about some specific elements that require action to be performed. Karta. So one who is the performer, and then one who is the place. So many other important factors that will be defined, that will come in the next section. But for us to understand specifically on this sloka, Krishna is talking about Nishkama Karma Yoga, and then four main aspects he is telling. One is you don't have you have the right to perform. First thing is you have the right to perform, which means you have all the rights to perform a duty. There's no doubt about it. However, when you perform the duty, ma phaleshu gadachana, don't expect anything out of it. You're not entitled. You're not entitled of the result. Third is don't assume that you are the main cause. You are the main person behind that. And fourth is also very important. What? And mate sangostva akarmani, which means never attached of not doing your duty. So, which means what? Sometimes you will say, okay, let me not do. Let me just do. So don't have that particular thing. You have to perform an action. If anyway you have to perform an action, and you have the complete right to perform an action. At the same time, you are not entitled. What is meant by entitled? Entitled is nothing but you have the right of getting the result. But here you have the right to do it, but you don't have the right to get the fruits of the action. Okay? Which means whatever it comes, you will be getting it. You will be given. But at the same time, it is not that whatever is entitled, you will be the full enjoyer. No, it is not that case. You will become when sometimes certain things Krishna will give us as kind of facility, some kind of this one, which is like partially whatever we are entitled, we are qualified, then we will get that. Okay. The third is also very important. Ma karma phala hetu. Never consider yourself the cause of results. So whatever happens, it is not that because of your thing only it has happened. It is because of your thing. So this is mainly sometimes both the cases. Whenever you are very victorious, you will assume that it is because of me. Sometimes you fail also. Mostly people will say it is because of my mind. Sometimes it will be there. Sometimes it can be beyond our control, beyond our understanding, beyond our prayatna, then it means that is also a failure, which means we have to just accept whatever the point is. Okay, and then he will talk something about it very importantly from 40, before getting into the science of mind and intelligence. Before this, Krishna will talk very importantly something called the equanimity, or how do we understand the dualities of life, and coming out of the dualities of life is very important. And in that, he will mention, perform your duty as an important person, more from a steady person with a steady state of intelligence. So that is where Arjuna will get the trigger. What is that? How do I understand who is that steady state person? How do I understand that particular person will be the next section. But this 44 to 45 to 40, 50 or 53, it is all about continuation of the same section. And then Krishna will stop at a point and say, yes, when your intelligence is completely fixed, your mind is not wavering, then you'll become that achala buddhi, chalam achalam. Okay, chanchalam, chanchalam, chalam, and then achalam. So when these three are getting at a one stage, then you will be in a very perfect stage. Then it triggers Krishna, it triggers Arjuna, like what is that? Then he will start asking questions. Okay, so let's try to quickly finish from 45, or okay, let's say 45 onwards. Yeah, 45 to, today we'll try to finish with 45 to 50, 53, 54. Okay, yeah, let's quickly read. I think this we have already covered. Traigunya Vishayavadan is Traigunya Bhavajana. This we have already covered. 46 Yavan Artha Udapane Sarvataha Samplutote. Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu Brahmanasya Vijanata. So what is the Krishna trying to say? Whatever be the rules and regulations or guidelines that needs to be done, it is all available in the Vedas itself. Whatever that is required. For example, you need little bit of something for you to achieve certain things. It is available in Vedas. If somebody wants the whole understanding, that is also available in Vedas. If somebody wants to understand Brahman, it is available in Vedas. If somebody wants to understand the Paramatma, it is available in Vedas. If somebody wants to understand the Paramapurusha Bhagavan, it is in Vedas. If somebody wants to understand everything together, it is in Vedas. So whatever be it, it is getting completely fulfilled. Okay, which means that fulfillment will be 100% true only if somebody is able to understand what is the real purpose of it. Okay, for example, I have something which I want to give it to somebody. Until I know the real purpose behind it, it will never get 100% fulfilled, right? So there is a story also for this. uh, what is the story? Yeah, the story of the jackfruit story, right? Prabhupada used to tell that jackfruit story. Somebody came to India for the first time, and then he heard that jackfruit is the best fruit in the world. It's a king, like mango. It is one of the best fruits. So he goes to the shop. He sees the jackfruit, and then just by seeing the jackfruit, he was puzzled, because the jackfruit will be raw outside. It would have a lot of, very difficult to see outside from a thorn perspective. It will be like kind of very thing, right? Difficult also. And then he started wondering, how is it possible that this can be most tastely? So he buys it, then he starts trying to eat it. Okay, which means he doesn't know the real purpose of how to get the extract output from that particular jackfruit, and then taste the exact inside the pulp, right? So he starts cutting it. He starts trying to eat it as it is. Okay, so which means he doesn't know the real purpose of that particular fruit, right? And how it is being packaged, how it is being so that is why Prabhupada is making one very important point, that whenever we wanted to get the real purpose of understanding the Vedas, real way of doing this, we have to go through the chain of discipline succession. We have to go through the process, then we will know the real purpose of it. Until we don't go the real purpose, real way of doing it, then we will never get the real purpose. For example, you want to get the real taste of chanting, then we have to undergo the process. Only when we undergo the process, you will feel the bliss. Just outside, it might look like, oh, it is very difficult, it is not possible. Sometimes I will say, no, nothing will happen. So those are all from an outer ring perspective. But when somebody goes inside, then they will be able to know the real purpose. Okay. So what is the real purpose Prabhupada is making? The purpose of studying Vedas is to know Krishna. Sarva Karana Karana. Okay. I think this sloka is straightforward sloka. We will skip this. Then we'll get into 47th. 47th, mostly everybody will know the understanding of Karmanya Vadikarasya, right? I don't see any specific this one, but these three main important activities we have to do. Okay. What is meant by prescribed duties, capricious work, and inaction? Inaction is nothing but I will not do anything. I will just script. I will not do. That is an inaction. Okay. Capricious is nothing but all the vikarma, which you are not supposed to do, but you are still doing it. And first one is the prescribed duties, which is nothing but you're supposed to do, means there is no doubt or there is no escape from it. You are supposed to perform the action. Okay. Maybe you can read through this purport quickly. Yeah. Can somebody read it? I'll
Hare
follow
Krishna.
up. Go ahead, Mataji.
There are three considerations here: prescribed duties, capricious work, and inaction. Prescribed duties are activities enjoined in terms of one's acquired modes of material nature. Capricious work means actions without the sanction of authority, and inaction means not performing one's prescribed duties. The Lord advised that Arjuna not be inactive, but that he perform his prescribed duty without being attached to the result. One who is attached to the result of his work is also the cause of action. Thus, he is the enjoyer or sufferer of the results of such action. As far as prescribed duties are concerned, they can be fitted into three subdivisions, namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Routine work performed as an obligation in terms of the scriptural injunctions without desire for results is action in the mode of goodness. Work with results becomes the cause of bondage, therefore, such work is not auspicious. Everyone has his proprietary right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to the result. Such disinterested obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the result. His non participation in the battle is another side of attachment. Such attachment never leads one to the path of salvation. Any attachment, positive or negative, is cause for bondage. Inaction is sinful. Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you
You
are
are
on
on
mute.
mute, Prabhuji.
Sorry. Let's put a small tabular column. You yourself do this exercise. Okay. 1 minute you take your time, or just think how do you divide as a work, as a routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Okay. And specifically, even the routine work also, when you perform it with expectation and without expectation. Okay, four ways of understanding. Routine work, that whatever you're doing. Emergency work, you're doing it. Desired activity is one aspect. But within the routine work also, Prabhupada is making routine work performed as an obligation in terms of civil is an action of goodness. Okay, but actually action of goodness also is not very good because it will still bind us to this material body. Okay, just think about for 1 or 2 minutes and let's discuss this is very basic fundamental understanding that you should be very clear as how do you define it as a karma, how do you define it as a vikarma, and how do you define as a akarma. That is what is the first section. That is whatever you have seen it here: prescribed duties, capricious work, and inaction. And Prabhupada is making very clearly inaction is much more dangerous and sinful. Okay, now understanding routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Okay, so here he is giving some example. Any attachment. So another way of seeing it is non-participation, but is also sometimes you will say, "Oh, I will not do it. If I do only, I'll get bondage, right? I will not do it." Actually speaking, that is also kind of an attachment only. Not performing is also kind of an attachment. Okay, understood. For us to understand it much more clear, you need to put some examples to it. Then only you will be able to understand. Okay, let's see how we can understand it a little more and in a very detailed way. Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was only was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna. Okay, now let's see what is meant by routine work. Example:
Taking care of family and all that.
taking care of family. Okay, perfect. Okay, emergency work. Emergency work, normal, it's just
Will
standard
Some
will MS,
medical,
medical. Okay, then Mataji was saying something.
no, I was asking if that is it like capricious work? That's what they're saying, or is it emergency work is
No, no,
different?
no. That is a different. That is
Ah,
a. That's what I told you.
ah,
That is a different aspect.
okay,
Prabhupada
okay.
is giving different point of view or different perspectives. The first
Ah,
point, this is about prescribed duties, capricious work, and
okay,
inaction. This is one way of seeing it.
okay.
Then within prescribed
Yes,
duties,
there are three subdivisions.
he is dividing into three subdivisions. You are
Okay.
getting it?
Yes, 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 Prabhuji. Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
capricious is very clearly akarma.
Mm.
And inaction is also kind of not performing, which will lead to attachment. But specifically in prescribed duties only, we will get a lot of confusion because prescribed duties has got. If you don't do prescribed duty, anyway you'll get sin. If you do prescribed duty with an expectation, you will get bondage. But the
Okay.
same prescribed duty, if you do it, I mean, you have to do it, but without any expectation of the result, then it becomes a different one. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
Now let's
Thank
go into this. I'll repeat again, same thing, routine work, emergency work, desired activities of the prescribed duty. Within prescribed duty also, how a desired activity will be there. Now think about it.
So, Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Hmm.
so it's like prescribed duties divided into routine work, emergency, and desired activities, and then routine work again with attachment and without attachment. That's what it says, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So emergency can be emergency for a country, like any person he has to fight for the country.
Correct. Any medical requirement you have to. It's a duty,
Yeah.
and for example, some countries in a war, you have to go and do your duty. Means you have to go duty. Okay. How do you see desired activity as prescribed duties?
Prabhuji, I am thinking the prescribed duties. I'm thinking like our regular chanting.
Hmm.
Regular chanting, when we do it like on time, then it become it's actually a routine right for us. So but if we miss out the morning routine, then it become something like we miss the timing of it, and then before today end of today I have to complete these rounds, then it become emergency. I'm thinking like that when it is like really relaxed and doing as a desired completion. uh, can we put it also like that, or it
Yeah,
is
we can. We will think about it. I want Prabhuji's to come out. Anybody, Prabhu, please, you need to understand these things very clearly. Otherwise, if somebody is going to ask you how do I define this akarma, karma, vikarma, and all those sections, then you will be in a yeah, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, can desired be offering bhoga and having prasadam?
Okay. Yes.
Active
Yes.
can be hobbies.
Mataji, sir, Mataji.
desired activities, can it be hobbies which we want to pursue?
Hobbies, yes, hobbies also correct. Yes, can be. But that hobby should be part of the prescribed duty. So in a way where it is like it is kind of okay, like whatever you're doing is like prescribed as per your. Let's say, for example, cooking is kind of more passionate for you. It becomes an hobby as well as it is part of your prescribed duty. So it kind of a mixed one. Typically, what will happen? I'll tell you a scenario. Typically, what will happen? Generally, everything will be a routine initially. You just do it blindly. Like for example, Mataji was telling chanting, and some Mataji was saying offering boga. So initially, it will be routine work only. Okay, but the same routine work you continuously keep doing without interest, then it becomes waste. It becomes doesn't have anything. But the same routine work when you start doing as a desired activity, oh, I have to do it, I have to do it. Initially, you will be doing it as routine work with some expectation. Slowly, that expectations should go away. The same routine work should become a desired activity, which is still a prescribed duty, which is prescribed. Prescription means what? Prescription means you can follow or you don't need to follow. It's prescribed for you. Okay. If you don't follow, you will know we are going to suffer, we are going to this one. So prescription, as per the term itself, it is for us, it is beneficial for us. But how do I turn the beneficial work for my own desire depends upon the person's interest and taking it up. So initially they will just follow routine only. Hey, they have told me to do, let me do it. They have told me to do, let me do it. I'm expecting something will happen. They have told me, okay, let me do. But slowly the same routine work, when you start doing it with enjoyment, with a more pleasure, where you're not expecting any benefit out of it, but you're doing it for the sake of pleasing others, pleasing Krishna, pleasing somebody else, then the same prescribed duty will become a desired activity. Because you then every day morning when you wake up, you will automatically have the desire to chant. Automatically you will have the desire to do arti. Automatically you will have the desire to do boga, right? So initially everything will be routine, whatever be it. For example, um, uh, another simple example: parents, mothers, when they start outwardly, they might look like a routine work, but sometimes they do something very nicely. Then you'll say, "Oh, today what you made very something very good, special." Huh? But for them, it is always the regular work only. But sometimes, just to please, just to do everything, they will do some additional desired activity. Then that is all, it is all part of the prescribed duty, but still they will try to do it with a lot of more desire. So the desire here is very important. Within that desire, as Mataji mentioned, if you're attached for that and then this one, then it will be in the still in the mode of goodness, and then you will get. But if you are doing it without any kind of an expectation, then it will lead us to liberation. Then it will slowly move away from the bondage. Until then, the same desired activity also, same emergency work also, same routine work also will keep on binding us. Whatever be the prescribed duty, again to make it very clear, everything will bind us. Only if we do it without the attachment portion, the same activity will slowly remove us from the bondage. You're getting it? Still complicated or you're okay? That's why I'm telling you, if you don't apply your brains to understand the with an example, then you will not be able to get it.
Prabhu, if we have a desire to do it, but still we are not able to make up, then how it?
That's okay. That is, you're not doing it, no. So here you have the desire, you have already done it. See, here which means
But
you're not
but
able
that
to
will
do it.
but that will be a prescriptivity, but still I'm not able to do, right. So how?
You give me an example.
For example, I have to finish some work in office. I desire to do. I want to do it, but somehow I couldn't. So I just leave it, and
Okay, okay. So what will happen?
somebody else will do
Put
it.
an example. What will happen?
Somebody else will do it.
Somebody else will do it. No, the point is because you have not performed it, right? You had the only you only had the desire. So whomsoever performed it, he will get the result. Okay, so only the desire was there, but it is not fulfilled. The action is not performed. So we should not actually worry about it. Okay, sometimes we will have a lot of desires, but the so-called unfulfilled desires bind us, will make us like bring it down. Okay, that is where we need to be very clear. When you go for the desired way of understanding, we ensure that you do it with enjoyment. If you're not able to do it also, don't get into the point of unhappiness. You're not able to do, that's okay. You're not able to, so next time you try, or if you want to extend, you try to figure out a plan and try to make sure you're able to do it. If you're not able to do, that is absolutely fine. But at the same time, we should not keep, the point here is very clear to understand, is performance of that action and then the result of it. Okay, if the action itself is not performed, then also you will worry. That is much more worst. So we have to come out of that worry first. Then you have performed here, and then you are not able to get into an attachment. That is the second part of it. Chandrakant Prabhu, you made a very important point. Many of them will have that desire to perform action, but they will never be able to do. But that worry is completely different from whatever we are talking here. Okay,
Okay.
that is more from a worry perspective. There is no attachment, there is no bondage to it. There will be an attachment to it, but that attachment is of void nature, which means you will never get anything. In fact, actually what will happen is the desire will keep increasing only. There is no bondage to it. There is no karma phala to it. Only if perform an action, then the karma phala will come. It is only, see, spontaneous emission of desires will keep on coming and going, right? So that is immaterial of it.
Prabhuji, I
Okay.
have a question here. Like in terms of prescribed duties, I mean, just for my understanding, should we look at these at a granular level or at a higher level? Because prescribed duties, like they can be defined under a very dharmic framework. I mean, not religious dharmic, but what is your dharma? Like I'm in a grahastha ashram. I have to take care of my family. I have to go work. I have to, I mean, do the necessary tasks, whatever are required. But when I break it down to the granular level, for example, office work I'm doing, we sometimes enjoy, we don't enjoy, and doing that work without expectation we can do, but we have performance reviews also in the office. So that thing is also there. So that's what I'm thinking, that should we look it at a granular level, or how is it?
Okay, I want to hear from others. What are the others' comments, thoughts? Amit Prabhu saying, should you go very detailed at the granular level or only at high level? What are others' thoughts?
I'm thinking it should be detailed.
Okay. Others?
Because the detail, yeah, the reason is the detail is where the specifics are there. Yes, as Amit Prabhu was saying, when we go to work, definitely, at the end of the year, we will see whether we are getting recognized for the work we have done. That's a normal thing. But when we apply Krishna consciousness in that particular, basically, it is to, my understanding is if we don't have attachment, obviously we will not get a disappointment. Okay, anyway, that's one thing, one way of seeing it. But we need to get rid of expected work. So when we apply at the granular level only, this will be useful. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Okay. Mataji's, anybody?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hmm.
I think whatever work we do it, whether in an office or taking care of our kids, everything should be, if you are Krishna consciousness, you have to give your 100% and you have to do with the full sincerity.
So you have to do it granular.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yeah, granular level, that is in a detailed way, because like only then we may develop the desire. Eventually, we'll develop the desire. So then we can work on the level of Krishna consciousness. Maybe I'm just thinking. I don't know. I may be wrong. I don't know.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Fine. That's okay. So Amit Prabhu, initially, if you're not able to fully get into a 100% conclusion or 100% way of getting things right, you can be at a higher level. Okay, no doubt, no harm in it. But when you start applying at little more granular level, the benefit of applying at granular level is very important, because it will help us to have more proper way of performance of actions, more proper way of decision making, and more performance way of proper setting the proper expectations. But if you don't do it at a granular way, the specifications of understanding it will not get it. It will be just at a higher level, and then you just leave it and go, right? But if you apply it, karma means action means whatever be it, it is at the most granular level also, it is karma only. So action, that is in third chapter, Krishna will talk very detailed about what is that action. So even sitting and listening is also kind of an action. So to what extent we pay attention is what we get into our brains. So which means the action that is getting performed will have the result of it. So without without getting into the output or attachment to the output, then what will happen is our bondage will become much more easier. Okay, so at this level, if you are not able to get into full aspect of it, that is absolutely fine. Just leave it as it is. When we get into the third chapter, fifth chapter, Krishna will take you through a bigger path of understanding it. Okay, a longer path, but that also will give you a more detailed understanding. We will do one in-person workshop. Okay, there is a workshop that we will typically do for this karma vikarma, and then also we will do some specific exercises in which you will be able to get this. But for now, it is absolutely fine in your thought process. Okay.
Just one thing here, Prabhuji. I get stuck at always that point when I go at granular level, especially when we say that routine work, taking care of our family. I would like to take an example of kids. Like we take care of our kids without any expectation that they will. It's just love for the kids. I mean, though
Mm.
we are not expecting anything out of for the kids, we are just doing everything for them. But the attachment part is very strong. I mean, as it says that, we have to ultimately not get attached. I mean, being compassionate, and then this attachment, and then doing the work without attachment. This is where I get confused
Especially,
in
yeah,
case of kids.
understood, Prabhu. Especially with children, right? One is affection, other one is attachment to the word attachment to your expectations is what is called as the attachment that leads to your bondage. Well, affection will be always there. Definitely, you should show affection. You without affection, nothing will come. Love and bondage, happiness will not come. So you are anyway going to show the affection. But what is the problem is when you start putting your thoughts, your ideas, the way of working, everything, then the expectation is what is making you worrisome or making happy. Oh, I'm doing this, I'm expecting this, I'm expecting her to study well, I'm expecting him to be very polite, I'm expecting her to be this, I'm expect. So internally, whatever you are trying to do as the so-called nice things, but externally what will happen is you will just try to show it off, like where, oh yes, this is very good, I'm doing it, but internally that small expectation, there is a subtle difference between expectation and attachment, right? So we ourselves don't know that we are expecting. That is a major thing. Whatever happens, it's okay, is one aspect of it. But expectation is how do you define that expectation? When you are expecting her or him to do certain action, and if the output is totally opposite, how are you going to take it up? How are you going to understand it and accept it? Many times the expectation will be A, outcome will be B. Okay, for example, if A is what you expected from your child, but the B has come. Are you going to accept or not? You have to accept it. Okay, there is no other choice. There is nothing called this one. But how do you accept it is what we are trying to see. How do you expect? Okay, it's fine. I actually expected A, but B has come. That is fine. We need to see where was the gap. We need to see how to understand this so that it could have been done better. One first way of understanding. Second way, okay, I expected A, B happened. There might be something beyond my nature, something which is called this one. Okay, then try to do some introspection. And third one is, I expected A, B has come, but I can see something more from more, what I'm qualified, or my child is um, entitled to get it. So that is absolutely fine. So you try to accept. So there are many ways of accepting it. When you try to work on that acceptance portion, then your attachment will become loosely coupled. It will be there, then it will become loosely coupled. We can take up a lot of examples of that, Prabhu. When we sit for some sessions, we usually do this yearly parenting session. In that parenting session, we'll take up one example of a child. You ask them to do, then you get a totally, you then, without knowing what is the output, we will ask you, what was your expectation? Okay, for example, you're giving a coloring sheet to your child. For example, you're giving a coloring sheet of Krishna. Okay, what will be your expectation from your child?
She was colored blue and yellow. I mean, blue colored Krishna and yellow
Some
dhoti.
basic things you might have thought in your own way. Correct?
Yeah.
He or she should put the peacock feather. Hopefully he puts black color in the hair. Hopefully he puts pitambaram yellow color dress. Hopefully something like that. Okay, this is our expectation based on certain assumptions that he or she knows these things. Okay, so that when he or she finish off that color and comes back, then by seeing it, you'll be very immediately you'll be able to judge upon certain aspects, right? When you start putting your judgment points, then you will know where is the gap. Okay, then when you see the gap, then you will be able to evaluate. Oh, he has put the then you will be able to put 100 out of 100. Oh no, only 80 out of 100, only 70 out of 100, only 30 out of 100, which means something really wrong. Okay, then you do for an introspection and get to it. So any action that is, as I mentioned earlier, if you go a little more granular level, you will be able to do a very thorough introspection of it. I'm just giving you a small example of a coloring sheet for your child, which requires a lot of your own internal analysis before even giving your feedback to the child, before even scolding your child, before even appreciating your child, whatever be it, you will be able to do it. Okay, try to do this exercise for everybody. You take your own children, try to give some work, and then you see the output, and then you make yourself an introspection. I'm just giving you a small raw example of coloring sheet. It can be anything. Then you will know to what extent you are attached to it, to what extent your expectations are there, and how are you going to balance it. Why I'm telling you is, I cannot be very generic out of this. It varies from an action to an action, it varies from a person to person, it varies from the expectation to an expectation. So all three combinations are totally in a way where it depends upon how do you put it. So that is why I'm telling you, we cannot be very generic to this aspect. We can be generic to certain aspect, to what the specification output of it, the understanding of it, the expectation of it. These are all common aspects, but when you go into the detail only, you'll be able to get it. Okay,
Okay, Prabhuji.
too much, right? Today it is little too much. Wow, I thought some relaxed class, I will just sit and go.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have one doubt. That means whatever we do, we should not be attached with the result. Is it so? Like, for example,
Expectation attachment here means your level of expectation.
yeah, like for example, if we do a bhakti, so like every day you have to wake up morning, you have to do the bhoga, suppose, so then you have to prepare. So everybody cannot do like 100%, every devotee do in a certain way. So like we get demotivated also sometimes. We get hurt, like, oh, we are not doing up to this level. So like, how to see this situation now here?
You lower your bar first. First of all, don't assume, oh, I have to do 100%. No, you start with baby steps. Even chanting also, boga preparation also, waking up in the morning also, whatever be it. All these are all akarma activities, which means certain activities which you feel like you are desired to do, but it is more related to pleasing Krishna. Then don't worry about the result, output, the karma phala, everything. That and all is taken care. But to make it more desired work, you take some baby steps. You have a hand, you have to achieve that 100% means, let me try to start with first 5%, 10%, but I have the desire, by this particular period, by 6 months, by 7 months, or by 1 year, I will be able to achieve. Try to take up some specific baby steps, then you will be able to do it. In between, most importantly, many of them will say, I tried to do it for last 1 year, I'm not able to do, which means they didn't do a proper introspection at the regular intervals. Let's say you have a short-term goal of 6 months. You have to do an introspection every 1 month. That is why we have this sadhana chart and all. So after 1 month, you take your sadhana chart and check where is the gap. Then accordingly, you do some little more modifications in your activities. Then it will try to help. But don't wait till the end of the 6 month period and say, "Oh, I tried for 6 months, nothing happened." Okay, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Prabhuji, what is the difference between akarma and vikarma?
Vikarma is that is not prescribed as per the dharma, as per the duty. It is all the papam that we do, for which we'll definitely get sins and then bondage also. Akarma is the same action. You try to do it without any expectation and attachment, but you offer or you give it out to the Lord without any expectation, then it becomes akarma. Karma means performance of your duty as per prescribed duties. That's all. So you will definitely get in the mode of goodness. Definitely there will be a bondage, but slowly when you start doing it without nishkama, without any attachment, then it will help us to lead to the path of liberation. It will slowly move out.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, that desired activities, then it will lead to akarma only, no? Slowly after
Yes,
some
slowly
time.
it will lead.
Uh,
Slowly it will lead. Yes.
Thank you.
So whatever we are talking here all is all about only Nishkama Karma Yoga, or that will just move away from the bondage. Slowly we can move to the liberated stage, not to the devotional aspect of it. It is all still within the material mode, within the three modes only.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, one doubt, Prabhu. This emergency work also as a part of prescribed duty. My thinking is anyway emergency work we will be doing. Why it is classified also separately, Prabhu? Is there any significance?
Many times we don't do emergency work at all. That is the actual fact.
Oh, oh,
How? The work that we are supposed to do on that particular time is called emergency work. Okay, nothing just like it is not just something suddenly something coming out. Okay, you are doing it, an emergency comes, you are supposed to do it. Sometimes what will happen is many times we will not do that particular work. We will just simply avoid and we will just simply try to escape out of it. Many times that is actual fact, but outwardly we'll say, oh, emergency means we'll definitely do it, but many times we will not do it. That is the actual fact. That is why Prabhupada wanted to bring that emergency work is important. And the second aspect of that emergency work is that which calls you to do it from a social perspective, from an obligation perspective to the society, from obligation to the country, whatever be it, it is all under emergency work.
okay, Prabhu. So if we need to do, but if we avoid doing it also, then it's it like sin. We incur sin.
Yes.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
It was the last question on this. So in the translation it says never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. So generally we think about the the good things, achievements, or favorable outcomes, that we are the cause for it. We tend to do that. But if we think about the unfavorable outcomes or losses and everything, so generally, I mean, we know it is because of us, but we we say that it's not because of us. It's just bhagya. So I mean, what uh, Prabhupada is trying to say is that I mean, I'm trying to understand. Is my understanding correct? Is that even the good things are also part of the prarabdha only? So we are just being the instruments doing that our karma. So is that understanding correct,
Your
Prabhupada?
understanding is correct. Many times we put the blame on others, right? If the expectation is not met, sometimes we'll put the blame on ourselves or we'll put the blame on others. Okay, so that is also wrong. That is also incorrect. So that is where Prabhupada is making that point that no, don't think that everything is because of you or everything happened because of something. So either way, we should be very clear on it. Okay. So the word capricious work also you should understand it thoroughly. One without authority. That is all this vikarma portion. Capricious work means action without sanction of authority. Inaction means not performing one's prescribed duty. This is also wrong. Okay. Chalo, let's quickly go. So
Sorry,
here
Prabhuji,
if you
sorry.
see any attachment which is positive or negative is cause of bondage. Yeah, Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhuji, this inaction they're saying, no? Inaction, there is akarma, but then here, when Arjuna's case, he's still not ready to fight. That's why they're saying that. That means it's yet not akarma, right? Is it
This is not a
akarma?
karma.
Huh.
Once he starts fighting only it is a karma.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
See, akarma is also performance of an action, okay? But that is of a different state. Don't get confused. That's a different aspect of it that will come a little later. Okay. For now, you just understand not performing it. That's all. You just simply avoiding it.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. Samatvam. The word samatvam is being brought out very importantly. Samatvam means equanimity. Samatvam means you try to see sangam taktva dhananjay. You just taktva. You leave out your attachment to it, whatever be it. Okay. Siddhi asadhya samobhutva. Whether it's success or failure, you have to see it in the same way. Okay. Samatvam yoga muchade. Then you will be getting into something called as yoga. The first time Krishna will bring out the word yogam or yoga, and then this yoga will continuously keep going across many places. Okay, yogastha. Here the word yoga is actually called twice with two different understanding of it. How do we say yogastha? Yogastha means stha means very in a very stable equippage. So yogastha first word. Then when you complete it, how do you say samatvam yoga muchyate, which means whatever be in the state of equal nature or accepting it in the same level is called as yoga. Okay, that is how he is being. Siddha asadhyo samo bhutva. You have to have it in the sama stage, then that is called as yoga. So Krishna is giving that nice word, okay, which means, yeah, you can read this first. Somebody can read the first part of this paragraph. Yeah, quickly.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, purport. Krishna tells Arjuna that he should act in yoga. And what is that yoga? Yoga means to concentrate the mind upon the Supreme by controlling the ever disturbing senses. And who is the Supreme? The Supreme is the Lord. And because he himself is telling Arjuna to fight, Arjuna has nothing to do with the results of the fight. Gain or victory are the Krishna's concern. Arjuna is simply advised to act according to the dictation of Krishna. The following of a Krishna dictation is real yoga, and this is practiced in the process called Krishna consciousness. By Krishna consciousness only can one give up the sense of proprietorship. One has to become the servant of Krishna or the servant of Krishna. That is the right way to discharge duty in Krishna consciousness, which alone can help one to act in yoga.
Okay. So what is when we are acting in yoga? Can somebody give me an example?
Prabhuji demonstrating Vaishnava ethics.
Vaishnava ethic. Okay, demonstrating Vaishnava ethic. Okay. Then
Doing the activity in full concentration.
full concentration. Okay. Then
Controlling the mind and do the
controlling the mind. So when you perform an action in the matter of as an yoga, then your mind is steadily fixed, your intelligence is completely utilized, then your qualities, you ensuring your qualities are at the topmost, you're exhibiting some nice Vaishnava qualities, and also your expectations are absolutely in the right direction, and whatever be it, you are ready to have that expectations without having much of the attachment to the output of it. Okay. Arjuna has nothing to do with the results of the fight. Very important point. Okay, that is why he's making it. Okay, yeah. The next one. Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanam anvicha kripana falahetava. So duro hi avaram karma. So he's talking about keeping distance. You just take away all the activities that you feel like will bind you. Okay. Buddhi yoga dhananjaya. So Krishna is making Arjuna in a way performance of your activity with buddhi yoga. So Prabhupada is giving buddhi yoga's translation is what? Strength of Krishna consciousness. Nice word. What is the strength of Krishna consciousness? Means, which means you act according to what Krishna wants, according to what he desires, according to whatever mentioned earlier. Performance or action without any expectations, with steady intelligence, with a clear set of mind. All those things will come under Buddhi Yoga with the strength of Krishna, which means everything which is in a way where it is moving away from this material platform to a spiritual platform. Then it is called the Krishna consciousness. Or Prabhupada is making a very nice word called as Buddhi Yoga Dhananjaya. Okay. Leave out Krishna. One way of seeing Buddhi Yoga is even without having that Krishna conscious philosophy, how am I going to understand Buddhi Yoga? Is very important. Okay. Buddhi Yoga, is it important or not important? Yes. Buddhi Yoga is very, very important because Buddhi Yoga only will make a person from a lower level of consciousness to a higher level of consciousness. A lower level of attached person to a higher level of detached person. To a lower level of higher expectations to a standard lowered expectations. Okay, so that is where you will see from a lower level to a higher level. Expectations, the word expectations will be there, the attachments will be there, and then the karma will be there. All those things will be there, but moving from a lower state to a higher state is the application of Buddhi Yoga. The same thing again, I'm telling you, you put some small example to it, then you will be able to understand. Okay, a performance of any action, let's say the same chanting itself or anything that you want to take. If you do it with a normal standard way, you are doing it a expectation. Like everybody's again, hey, you do this chanting for daily 10 times, you will get this benefit. So you are doing it with lot of desire will be there, lot of expectation will be there, you do it. Then somebody will keep on saying you do it just for the sake of doing it. Okay, you will do it for the sake of doing something will come. Okay, hoping that something will come. That is the second part. Third part is slowly they will say, hey, you are doing it because that will lead you to move away from this liberation, move away from this bondage. And then expectation is little more higher. Then slowly you get an attachment, and then even without somebody saying to you, you will start doing it because you start getting it. That is fourth. Fifth level is nobody can stop you from doing it. And then the seventh level is you will start hankering if you don't do it. Okay? So slowly the same level of activity, how many of you are hankering of not performing certain aspects? That is what is most important. Okay, so the anchoring of performance of action will be the highest level of the Buddhi Yoga. Okay, so that is where the normal action will slowly get into a Buddhi Yoga, and then where Krishna is talking about Buddha Sharanam Anvicha. Okay, so you will be able to put everything under the lotus feet of Krishna, everything for this pleasure of Krishna. Buddha, very nice word. Buddha, in that consciousness, in that particular state of mind, you will offer everything. You will offer everything. But at the same time, those who are doing, so Krishna is making that point very clearly. But at the same time, those who are doing all the buddhi, everything for their own sake, their own activity, their own pleasure, they are called as kripana. They are misers because they want to enjoy for themselves. They want to have their own sense gratification getting completely fulfilled. So the previous point of this what dura hi avaranam karma. First move away, get away from all kind of abhayam. Don't do bad things. First point. Second point, do your things with buddhi yoga. with the full attention, full concentration, without any too much of attachment, and have the expectations very clear. Apply your mind, apply your intelligence thoroughly. Okay, but then what will happen? Whatever be the result, you Sharanam, you give it to me. Buddha Sharanam Anvicha. In that consciousness, in that particular state of mind, you have already performed your action. You're going to perform an action. Just give it to me. But those who are not giving it to me, those who are trying to have it with their own sense gratification, they are called as Kripana. Kripana Phala Hetava. For example, a very simple example is this Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, whatever they means, they didn't do any kind of a bad thing when they went for meditation to Lord Brahma, right? So when they went to do meditation, they were performing of that action at the highest level. They were doing it very thoroughly, very everything, but at the same time, they didn't do the Buddha Charanam Anvicha. They didn't give it to the pleasure of the Lord. But what they did, they were expecting the output result for their own sense gratifications. Then what will happen? It made them bondage, it made them suffer, it made them to undergo lot of activities. So performance of an action with Buddhi Yoga is the best. But the super best is what? Performance and action with Buddhi Yoga for the pleasure of the Lord is the topmost one. But performance of action with Buddhi Yoga for their own sense gratification is miserly action. Okay, 4 lines, 4 different meanings, are 4 different understanding is being given by Krishna. First, what is it? Keep away all the above minorities. First one. By what? By performance of devotion service. So immediately if you see the second line, perform devotion, perform your activities. Buddhi yoga. So perform. You have to do your action. You cannot say no. But when you do that action in that consciousness, you surrender to me. Third one. Fourth one is if you don't do it, then it will become like kind of miserly action. Okay. We are supposed to finish 4 more slokas today. Let's see how we go. So Prabhupada is making, except for work in Krishna conscious, all activities are abominable because they continue blind the worker to the cycle of birth and death. And one should therefore never desire the cause of the work. Okay. See, this, as I told you earlier when I started 1 hour back, sometimes it will become like too much philosophical, too much abstract way of understanding. But just accept it as it is. Even if you are not 100% convinced, it will take some time to get that conviction. But that is okay. But most importantly, you get the concepts very clearly. Then you will be able to contemplate. Otherwise, your contemplation will lead to some wrong understanding. Okay, that is why I wanted you to write notes, go back, fix upon certain activity, and think about that activity. Put it in these perspectives. Then you'll get a better idea. Why are we doing this entire action? Why are we doing this so much of detailed study? How do you think it will be benefit to you is more important. Okay, the second portion is about the knowledge, understanding, appreciating Prabhupada. All those things are also very important. So Prabhupada has given wonderful purpose. Krishna is making everybody to understand. There's so much of scientific understanding is required. Then only you will be able to, ultimate goal is what? Then only will be able to come out of this bondage. Not only coming out of this bondage, but performance of action for love and affection for Krishna. That is the highest one. That is the Bhakti Yoga portion. But until otherwise, we are still not in that particular state. At least for the sake of doing it, you do it. That's why many of them we will say, if you are not even getting the taste of chanting, that's okay. But at least for the sake of chanting, you do it. Slowly, you will be able to get it. Okay, so the previous sloka is 49 also is of performance of an action with the focused attention of yoga. Okay. 51 also, 50, 51 also, buddhi yukto jaharta ube sukrita dushkrite tasmad yoga yajasva yoga karmashu kaushalam. So you have to perform your action as a yoga. Okay, yoga karmashu kaushalam. Okay, Krishna is calling that performance of an action as an art. Okay, what is meant by performance of an action with an art? You divide it as what science and arts, right? How do you define art?
Very creative.
Creativity. Okay, very good. Then
Perfect way of doing some action as an art.
perfect way of doing some action. Perfect. Okay. See, you see a piece of thing, and then it looks very artistic. For example, some rangoli, some design, some painting, whatever be it. Let's say Apple, what is it, releases every month or every year one phone, right? One design. Outwardly the design might be there, but internally it looks some changes, right? Which means what? The same aspect, the same concept, the same of activities. How do you do it artistically, right? So that is what will take us, move us from a normal standard way of performance of certain aspects to a higher level, to a higher aspect. Okay, that is what Krishna wants us. Man engaged in devotional service. So performance of this, but with a little more attachment, little more dedication, little more devotion. Attachment to the action will be there, but not to the attachment to the output of the action. You will have to do with 100% commitment. So many of them will get confused between 100% commitment to attachment. Okay, we are committed to do it. Yes, we will definitely do it, but I will not worry about what is the output of it, because I've already surrendered the output to the Supreme Lord, because I am not expecting I will enjoy that output. Because I'm not entitled to do it. Whatever Krishna gives, I will be able to take it as it is. So these are all the way of understanding Buddhi Yoga. So Buddhi Yoga is not just a simple aspect. You start applying to it, then you get a little more a detailed way of understanding. So Prabhupada is making that one's ignorance can be removed by the instruction of Bhagavad Gita, which is just one to surrender to Krishna in all aspects, in all respects, become liberated from the victimization of action, reaction, birth, and after birth. So therefore, yoga, you just please perform this action. So he is making, he's like calling out again and again. He's making that point, and then same janma bandha vinirmukta padam gachanti anamyam karmajam buddhi yuktahi phalam taktva manishinaha janma bandha vinirmukta. So what he's saying, by engaging in devotion service here means what? So wonderfully Krishna, Prabhupada is making it as devotion service, but here Krishna is talking as buddhi yukta. So performance of an action with buddhi. Here buddhi here means with intelligence, controlled senses, controlled mind. All those things will fall under the buddhi yoga, buddhi yukta or buddhi yoga. So all these great people, great sages have done this. So it is not, I'm not telling you this is for the first time to you, or this has been practiced. This is getting practiced by many people, many great sages, and they have done this, and they have freed away, they have moved away from the bondage of the birth, death, and old age and disease. So they have moved away from the janma mrityu jara vyadi. They have moved away from the cycle of birth and death. So this is the way where you will be able to come out of gachanti. They have achieved, they have achieved that. You also can achieve it. So Krishna is calling to each and every one of it. It is one way calling Arjuna. The other way of seeing it is Krishna is telling to everybody, you also have an opportunity. You also have the ways and means by which you will be able to come out of it. How do we do it? Simply, what? Phalam tyaktva manishana karma jam buddhi yogam. So you have to perform certain actions with buddhi yoga. That's all. Okay, Prabhupada is giving a very nice example. Owing to ignorance, one does not know this material world is a miserable place where there are dangers at every step. Okay, padam padam vipadam, yat padam vipadam, right? Padam padam, yat padam vipadam means everywhere it actually danger, but still knowingly we are going and then doing certain activities which will cause us bondage, which will cause us misery, which will cause us more of binding. But still we are trying to continuously doing it. Right? So that is where we need to understand. No, but one who understands his real constitutional position as eternal servant of the Lord and thus knows the position of the Supreme Lord God, engage himself in transcendental love and service. And then he becomes qualified to go to the Vaikuntha Loka. So Prabhupada is making very nicely. Service for the cause of the Lord is called as Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga. In plain words, devotional service to God. So they become qualified to get into the Vaikuntha planets. So which means anything that you perform action with an intelligence, with everything that has Krishna taught as Buddhi Yoga, then that is the path or way to get into devotion service. Okay, that is the way you have to get. Okay, I think we can stop here. Maybe yeah, I think we can stop here today. Then we'll continue. We'll try to finish off this particular sections quickly, and then come to the next section of 2054. Okay, Tad Yoga Mahapsasi. From 54 onwards, Krishna will talk 55 onwards. Sorry, 54 onwards. Arjuna will ask Sthita Prajna section. So from whatever we have seen today, in the entire section of from 41 or 41, 41 starts with Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi to 50. It's all about performance of an action, all performance and action with the focused attention of not getting too much attached, the focused attention of performance of the actions without any major expectations, performance of action with intelligence, performance and actions without any kind of uh, um, sorry, with full mind control, then you will be able to understand. So this section is all about performance and actions with the buddhi, and that is called as yoga, buddhi yoga. Performance of an actions with is called an art of work. If you do that, then you will be able to come out of this gachanti anamayam. You will be able to come out of this particular thing. That is what Krishna concludes. And in the last section, he is taking that point of in this way you will be able to come out of it. So performance of that action, if you do it, then you will be able to come out of it. So he keeps that point very clearly. Then this invokes or this triggers Arjuna to ask the next question. Obviously, when something is being explained, he wanted to get to know how and and who that person will be. What are the actions that particular person will be do? Then Krishna will start answering that question. Sthita pragya. Oh, you are calling somebody as called as Sthita pragya. How do I understand that person? What does he do? How does he talk? What is his languages? How is it? So in that section, Krishna will talk very specifically about mind control and sense control, and then get into the concept of final understanding of how do we apply to that devotion service. Okay, what and all he will do, what and all activities he will do, how will be able to no. Okay, I think I will stop here today. It's only 9:40. We started around 8:30, 8:45. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Any
Krishna, Prabhuji.
yeah, any specific clarifications, questions? Maybe for a homework, what I told you, try to, if you have children, if you have expectation between your husband wife also, try to do this small exercise for you, for yourself. Okay, how much of expectations you have with the opposite person. It can be your children, it can be your spouse, it can be your husband, wife, whatever be it. You try to give them some work, or you try to do something, or you expect something. You don't have to discuss, but you just put it in your own way and see how much of level of expectations you are having. Level here means not in terms of high, low, medium, and all. How much is it affecting you? Is the level. Okay, So you go back, try to do that, and then maybe on Saturday we can share. If you want to share, you can share also. Then you will see a lot of introspective activities that we can try to attempt to it. Again, I'm repeating you, the level here it means not the low medium. To what extent you are able to accept it. Okay, it can be 100%, it can be 90%, it can be 0.5, it can go to negative also. Okay, then you will be able to do your own evaluation and say, okay, I need to improve, or I need to improve on my thinking, or I need to improve on my inputs to that particular action, or I need to make sure that that particular person gives the correct this one. So there are some gaps to fill, whatever be it. There might be a lot of action items or outputs that you can derive out of it. Okay, or another simple way, you yourself try to do an action and try to see how do you might have your own expectation, to what extent it has been fulfilled, to what extent it has been. So this is like Chandrakant Prabhu was asking, desired activity, if you're not able to do, what will happen? So whatever be it you try to do, then we will see. It will give you, it will definitely help you in stability. Okay, in terms of meeting the expectations, because throughout Bhagavad Gita, one fundamental point Krishna will continue saying is, how are you going to manage your expectations? Right, managing the expectation is the biggest thing. And then how do you manage it? Sita pragya is all about how that particular person is able to have that controlled expectations and emotions. Okay, fine, thank you. Hare Krishna. Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananda Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai.
Yeah.
Jai.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Jai,
Thank you,
Jai,
Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you Prabhuji.